Imagine ending your night surrounded by people you don't fully trust, knowing there is nowhere else to go. No locked bedroom door. No private property. No police. No internet. No way to disappear into another city and start over. Just a small group of humans sitting beside a fire in the darkness, completely dependent on one another to survive another day. For ancient humans, a difficult neighbor wasn't simply irritating. One selfish, unpredictable, or emotionally unstable person could slowly damage the balance of the entire group. And strangely enough, your brain still reacts to social tension today as if you were sitting inside one of those prehistoric camps right now. That uncomfortable feeling after conflict, the emotional exhaustion of being around negative people, the anxiety created by social rejection, all of it may come from survival instincts that formed hundreds of thousands of years ago. Because for almost all of human history, your ancestors lived in tiny communities where cooperation wasn't optional. Emotional stability inside the group could determine whether everyone survived the next winter, the next hunt, or the next dangerous encounter with the outside world. Modern humans often imagine prehistoric life as chaotic and violent. Movies portray ancient people as aggressive loners constantly fighting each other for survival. But anthropologists studying early humans are discovering something far more surprising. Humans may have survived not because they were stronger than other animals, but because they became unusually good at managing social tension. And that changes everything about the story of humanity. For most of human existence, people lived in groups often smaller than a modern classroom. Anthropologists estimate many hunter-gatherer bands contain somewhere between 20 and 50 individuals. Imagine spending your entire life surrounded by the same people every day. The same faces during meals. The same voices during arguments. The same personalities during stress, fear, hunger, exhaustion, illness, and uncertainty. Now imagine someone inside that group constantly creating emotional instability. There was no taking a break from them. No changing schools. No changing jobs. No moving across town. And because survival depended entirely on cooperation, ancient humans developed social systems that modern people rarely think about today. Researchers connected to the Smithsonian Human Origins Program discovered evidence suggesting humans living more than 300,000 years ago were already maintaining surprisingly advanced social relationships. Archaeological findings from Kenya's Olorgesailie Basin revealed that early humans exchanged materials across long distances, relying on neighboring groups for resources and cooperation. Stone tools discovered at the site came from volcanic rock sources located many miles away from where they were eventually used. That means something extraordinary. Ancient humans were not surviving alone. They depended on social trust networks. The ability to maintain peaceful relationships may have become one of the most important technologies humans ever developed. And suddenly, modern neighborhood tension starts feeling far less trivial. Because deep inside your nervous system, social instability still activates ancient survival alarms. Your brain evolved in environments where losing the trust of your group carried enormous consequences. Evolution shaped humans to become emotionally sensitive to rejection, tension, and exclusion because social disconnection once represented genuine danger. In fact, modern neuroscience has confirmed something astonishing about the human brain. Researchers at UCLA discovered that social rejection activates some of the same neural pathways associated with physical discomfort. When participants experienced exclusion during experiments, brain scans showed activity in regions connected to distress and pain processing. In simple terms, your brain reacts to social rejection as if something harmful is happening to you physically. And from an evolutionary perspective, that makes perfect sense. Because for ancient humans, isolation could become life-threatening. A person separated from the group faced exposure to weather, reduced protection, difficulty gathering food, and vulnerability in dangerous environments. Your ancestors survived because they remained connected to supportive communities. Over thousands of generations, the human brain became deeply attached to emotional belonging, which means the emotional discomfort you feel around toxic social environments may not be weakness at all. It may be ancient biology. Anthropologists studying hunter-gatherer groups noticed another fascinating pattern. Communities often developed subtle ways to reduce social tension before it damaged group stability. Among the Kung San people of southern Africa, researchers observed how humor, teasing, emotional distance, and social feedback helped regulate disruptive behavior inside the group. People who became arrogant, selfish, or emotionally disruptive were often gently brought back into balance through social responses from the community. Not through dramatic punishment, but through emotional correction. Ancient humans understood something modern society frequently ignores. Emotions spread through groups extremely quickly. Stress spreads. Fear spreads. Negativity spreads. And emotional instability inside a tightly connected community can quietly affect everyone around it. Modern psychology now supports this ancient reality. Studies on emotional contagion show that humans unconsciously absorb moods, stress levels, and emotional energy from the people surrounding them. Your nervous system constantly monitors the emotional state of others without you realizing it consciously. In prehistoric environments, this sensitivity helped groups stay alert to danger and maintain cooperation during stressful situations. But in modern life, many people spend years surrounded by environments their brains interpret as emotionally unsafe. No wonder so many people feel mentally exhausted. Your brain was never designed to process constant low-level social tension from crowded cities, apartment buildings, workplaces, online interactions, traffic, and overstimulated environments all at once. For most of human history, your ancestors lived in deeply familiar social circles where trust and cooperation were easier to track. And this is where the story becomes unexpectedly emotional. Because evidence increasingly suggests that ancient humans were often far more cooperative than modern people assume. A study involving the Hadza people of Tanzania, one of the world's best-known hunter-gatherer societies, revealed that cooperative individuals naturally formed stronger long-term social bonds inside camps. Researchers observed how emotionally supportive and reliable individuals tended to remain socially connected, while disruptive behavior often created subtle distance within the group over time. That sounds incredibly familiar today. Humans still naturally seek emotionally safe people. You feel it in friendships, in families, in schools, in workplaces. Some people calm your nervous system simply by entering the room. Others create tension without saying a single word. And your body notices the difference immediately. That instinct may be far older than civilization itself. But ancient humans also faced another challenge modern people rarely think about. Privacy barely existed. Imagine having almost no personal space for your entire life. Sleeping near others. Eating near others. Raising children near others. Solving conflict face-to-face every single day without distraction or escape. Ancient humans became experts at reading emotional signals because survival depended on social awareness. Your ancestors learned to notice tone changes, facial expressions, body posture, tension in silence, small emotional shifts inside the group. Modern humans still do this automatically. In fact, neuroscientists believe the human brain devotes enormous energy toward monitoring social environments because our ancestors depended so heavily on group cooperation. And strangely, one of humanity's most criticized behaviors may have evolved directly from this survival system. Gossip. Today, gossip sounds petty or immature. But evolutionary psychologists believe gossip originally functioned as social survival technology. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar proposed that humans used social conversations to track reputation, trustworthiness, and cooperation inside expanding communities. Instead of solving every issue through direct confrontation, humans shared information socially. Who could be trusted? Who cooperated fairly? Who caused problems? Who helped others? Who created emotional instability? Gossip allowed ancient humans to manage large social networks more efficiently than other primates ever could. Which means modern conversations about difficult people may trace back to survival behavior around prehistoric campfires. And then human civilization transformed everything. Around 12,000 years ago, agriculture permanently changed human social life. Humans shifted from small mobile bands into permanent settlements. Villages slowly expanded into towns. Towns became cities. And for the first time in history, humans began living physically close to enormous numbers of strangers. But something important disappeared during that transition: emotional familiarity. For most of human history, the people surrounding you were deeply connected to your daily survival. You knew their families, their personalities, their strengths, their weaknesses, their history. Human relationships were intensely personal because survival required deep cooperation. Modern life changed that structure completely. Today, people often live beside strangers for years without truly knowing them. The word neighbor itself comes from an ancient expression meaning near dweller. Not trusted companion, not ally, simply someone who lives nearby. That tiny linguistic detail quietly reveals one of the strangest transformations in human history. Humans became physically closer, while emotionally growing farther apart. Your ancestors evolved in tribes. Modern humans often live in crowds without community, and your nervous system still struggles to understand the difference. That feeling of relief when you finally find emotionally safe people, the exhaustion created by difficult social environments, the anxiety caused by rejection or exclusion, the comfort of belonging somewhere. All of it comes from ancient survival systems still operating inside your brain today. You were never designed to live emotionally disconnected from the people surrounding you. And maybe that explains something many people quietly feel but rarely say out loud. Modern humans have more neighbors than ever before, yet many have never felt lonelier. Ancient humans feared losing their connection to the group because connection meant survival. Today, people can spend years surrounded by thousands of others, while silently carrying the same ancient fear of emotional isolation their ancestors once felt beside a fire in the dark.